What's up, everybody? We're the Rhino guys, Brian and Shad, and today we're with the one and only Kristin Goodfellow from an incredibly cool company, OraCare. What's up, Kristin?
Hi, guys. Oh, nothing much. Just living the dream over here.
Where's over here? Where are you at?
Over here in West Virginia. So lovely West Virginia. Yes.
And so, you know, for everybody that's going to be watching this, West Virginia is over there. So that's perfect. So I have a question for you. Have you ever heard of the name Dr. Richard Downs?
Never. I don't know who that would possibly be.
I happened to be on the phone with him actually for an hour yesterday. We were talking about you. Yeah. So, but it's incredible what a genius like that is doing in the market, but specifically what he did with OraCare. So for the very few out there that may not know what OraCare is, why don't you take just a second and just kind of share, just talk about it. Let's hear it.
Sure. And you are so right when you talk about Dr. Downs and his mind. He's incredibly intelligent. So he came up with OraCare as essentially an alternative to chlorhexidine. It's something that, as a hygienist, is a product that causes a lot of problems. So having an alternative to that is actually very fantastic. So it's activated chlorine dioxide and xylitol.
We're around dentists all the time, and we hear OraCare. So what makes OraCare so different than the other mouthwashes that are out there?
There are a lot of different aspects of OraCare that make it different from, you know, the things that patients can find at the store or online, or, you know, even if they write a prescription for it. The great thing about OraCare is it's only sold in dental offices. So this is truly a product for the dental professional. This isn't something that everyone is grabbing.
In that situation, just to take that thought further, a dentist that may be interested in using it, OraCare intended to be a resale product that their patients can buy from them, or is it specifically like in a clinical setting, you know, like for use in that situation?
So it's either or. You can use this for in-office uses like irrigation, maybe pre-rinsing, but you can also use it for patients at home care. Isn't that the biggest struggle? I mean, do you guys floss?
I do, by the way.
Yes.
He had to think about it just for a second.
I was just kidding.
So it's not that a rinse can be a replacement for flossing, but when patients aren't so great at it, which not everybody is as great as you in that aspect, Shad, that are flossing.
I never said I was great at it, all right? We spread lies all over the internet. I just said I do it, okay?
But for me as a hygienist, that's great. When you hear a patient say, I floss, you're like, yes. That is the best news. So for all of those patients who don't floss, this is a fantastic product to help clean those areas that they're missing or just completely ignoring in some scenarios.
Hey, we were just out in Boise with Dental Innovations, and they brought one of their lead dentists in to have a conversation. It was really good. And so Boise's pretty far from West Virginia, but he kept talking about using OraCare in his office. So, you know,
and so, you know, you made us feel like we were popular.
Yeah, like, I was like, we know them. That's right. So what impact can OraCare have on an actual dental practice? Like, what can it do?
Well, I think what you just said speaks volumes. We have so many people out there in the industry talking about OraCare. They don't come to us and ask us, hey, can I talk about your product? They're doing that of their own free will. So that, I think, again, speaks volumes to what this does in a practice. When I came into OraCare, whenever I got to know it, I walked into an office that already carried it. I had zero idea what this product was, what it did. So for me, it was when I started seeing results. So we have people throughout the country that have seen those same results that I did, but they don't work for OraCare now like I do. And hygienists specifically, you know, they'll go from office A and go to office B, and this is something they're like, I had this at my last office. I need this here. Please, please, can we carry it?
And that's exactly what he said, because Dental Innovations was pitching a product about doing some kind of digital store. And he said, I won't do it unless I can have OraCare in there. Is OraCare one of the products that I can sell? They said, absolutely.
Here's the thing. Everybody that has a product, all right, talks about how their product is the best. Right. And again, being in this situation where this is a major key opinion leader dentist that was talking to us about it while we were up in Boise, and that's his big caveat. It's like, no, OraCare, I swear by it. I live, you know, so
it's all we use, he said.
That's exactly right. So like, this is somebody that helps back up the argument. You know what I mean? But as a retailer of a product, you can make claims that your product's better or different and things like that, because we all do that. Everybody does that. But there's something about OraCare, like in its essence, the chlorine dioxide. Talk about like the nitty gritty of, for anybody that may happen to see this, that would say, I need some improvement in this area. I want a better rinse, or what would be better for my patients. Honestly, when you guys talk about you being the best, everybody else does. So how can people that would consider using your product for the first time believe that statement? How will they buy into the idea of this is the one I have to go with?
Everybody believes that they're the best. Every single product out there has its pros, its cons, I'm sure. With OraCare, that's part of our problem. We don't really have any cons. There's nothing bad to say about it. So my patients can use it. It's easy. The chlorine dioxide has so many different properties, so it has broad use in a practice, as well as, this is something that doesn't stain. It doesn't add calculus, which is what some traditional products have done. So we don't have those side effects, which is why you hear dentists, periodontists, implant specialists, people in the industry talking about the tissue response. That is what will win you over. And I say that on my webinars. I can sit here and tell you all day how awesome this is, but it's when you see it for yourself. That's what makes those people stand in front of crowds and say, I need this. I'm not doing this without it.
That's cool. And the endorsements we hear all the time from people, it's incredible because they're endorsing it behind closed doors. You know what I mean? That's the big difference maker. When nobody else is looking, there's nothing in it for them. They're not being paid as an ambassador to kind of like stretch it. It's to say, I'm not even moving forward unless I'm using OraCare. Let's talk about the main uses. Right? So how would somebody put this into practice? And yes, of course, to retail it back to their patient, but let's hear the main uses of OraCare.
Sure, there's profitability in OraCare being that it's only sold in the dental practice. That's probably not the reason an office is going to carry it. No one is going to stop doing fillings if they carry it.
Right.
So,
you're safe, dentist. You're not going to run out of business because you use OraCare.
Right. You're not going to become a brick and mortar store for OraCare, the product. So dentistry still has to be done. This is a tool for dentists, hygienists, any dental professional, really, to add to their toolbox for their patients to use at home. I would say there are multiple uses of OraCare. I have a few favorites. Mine is bleeding gums. And that's pretty much the majority of patients that walk in. So we were talking about flossing already. Most patients don't floss. So this is something—
even though they say they do,
Yeah. And some people just don't do it properly. Not that I'm saying that you don't really floss. So to me, it is those patients whose gums are bleeding, who have bad breath. Dry mouth is another really big use of OraCare. And anybody that has periodontal disease, this is part of my package of non-negotiables. Speaking to the points of those people that are standing up there.
Yeah.
I need you to use this if I'm going to treat your periodontal disease in my office.
Kristin, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for being with us today. It's obvious that you're passionate about OraCare and your product and what it can do and the impact that it's having across the dental industry. Tell everybody watching how they can connect with you and get OraCare in their dental practice.
Sure. And before I even start with that, thanks guys for your time. This is so much fun. This is amazing. As far as getting in contact with me or any member of the OraCare team, it's super, super easy. You can go to oracareproducts.com. Obviously, we have tons of information on there, areas where you can request more information. I think the biggest and best way is to do our webinar. The webinar is kind of about the active ingredients, because I'm sure when I said chlorine dioxide, that wasn't something that rung a ton of bells for everybody out there.
I was like, I think my pool guy does that.
So come schedule a webinar. We'll get you lunch. We'll get you a free sample of the product, or you can even get a free case of product if you don't want lunch and you can bring your own. Hey, we'll send you a free case as well. So you just go on there, click the link, fill out the form, and you will be scheduled with us on a day and time that works for you.
And I want to challenge everybody that's watching, and this is a large part of what we do with our business, and giving growth tips online and speaking to from a place of our experience with what we do as a marketing company. About how to properly grow your practice. It's an education process, right? Because a lot of times people will use things and just stay stuck because it's easier just to stay stuck.
Or traditional, something they've learned
That's it. And we're in a conservative traditional industry, and there's a mindfulness and a respect that goes into the process of choosing a new product, because there's implications of the patient, right? But education, that's what our whole industry is centered on. So that's a challenge for everybody. Do one of the webinars. Like, what's the worst you could do? Find a product that may change your patient's life. You know what I mean?
Free lunch.
Or
a free lunch, right? So, and Kristin has beautiful hair. She may even let you play with her hair, but I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm not there physically, so
Hey, there we go. We're good.
Send you a lock though if you need it.
Send you a lock.
Special OraCare packaging.
Please, blow this up.
This is not what I thought this was.
Let's get this going. Everybody start asking Kristin for a lock of her hair, and let's see how long it takes for her to look like me. Okay, so.
That's how we'll know it came from this. I'll be, by the time I'm bald.
That's exactly right. So, but with that being the case, make sure that they know exactly how to do the webinar. So can they go to the URL to do that registration?
Yes.
Okay.
If you go to oracareproducts.com, the first thing you'll see up in the right-hand corner, it says webinar request. I think it even says free webinar request because there's no charge for it.
That's really, really good.
And we'll put that in this post as well, in this video. It'll all be right here.
Yep, we'll pop it up. In fact, you're probably seeing it right about now. Okay, you see that? That was like magic. That's how we do that. Okay, so, hey, but please check that out, because you need to treat yourself to a free lunch, if nothing else. But you might find a product, again, like we said, that changes the way that you add value to your patients' lives. So, again, we're the Rhino guys with the lovely Kristin Goodfellow from the wonderful product OraCare. Thank you guys so much for checking this out. Go to the link. Check it out. Go.
Yes, go now.
All right. See you on the other side. Peace.